Hey kids, Miss McGuire here. Ready for STEAM? All right, today we are doing Easter Egg Zipline STEAM activity. So up here, you're going to see some real life examples of some zip lines. So I have not actually ever done a zip line, but that's kind of on one of my bucket list things to do. So hopefully someday I'll get to do it. All right. Okay, so first, just dropped my ball. Okay, we're going to learn about the laws of motion. So let's take it back to science. Isaac Newton is a guy, he's a physicist and a mathematician who developed the 3 laws of motion, which these laws will probably help you with the STEAM activity. So I'm going to go over them real quick. So we already learned rule number 1. I can't remember, we did a STEAM activity with this idea. So the first idea is that every object will stay at rest until a force moves it. So let's take this ball, for example. I'm going to put this ball in my hands. Now, is it going to move just by sitting there? No, right? I have to put a force on it. It either has to get pushed out of my hand, or I drop my hand, I drop it on the ground. Something has to happen where I am putting a force onto it for it to fall. And so that's the first rule, is that every object will stay at rest until something moves it, okay? A force moves it. Rule number 2, law number 2, let's say law number 2, 2 objects of different weights accelerate at different speeds. So let's say with this ball, I have a bouncy ball and I have this ball. Which one do you think is going to go further? Yeah, the bouncy ball, right? Because it's smaller, it weighs less. So if I want them to go the same speed, I'm going to have to push and have this stronger force on this one than on the bouncy ball. So 2 objects of different weights accelerate at different speeds. Law number 3, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So let's say I'm trying to push a wall down, or I'm trying to pick up a big rock, okay? I have to have a lot of force and a lot of pull to pick that up. Now, if I am not strong enough, the equal reaction for that rock is that it's just going to stay there because it doesn't have enough force to pull it, okay? So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So for this ball, for example, if I put that force on the ball and I throw it, then it's going to have a reaction of rolling away. If you want to learn more about Newton, it's pretty interesting stuff. You can check out this website called coolkidfacts.com and laws of motion. So I'll pull it up here so you can kind of see it real quick, and then we'll get right to our STEAM activity. So if you go to Cool Kid Facts, they also have all these kind of cool things you can read about, science-related kind of things. So you can read about Isaac Newton, and then you can read about his laws, and it gives you better examples of his laws and how they work. So if you want to learn more about that, and you can take a little quiz when you're done. All right. Let's go back to the presentation here. And so your challenge today is to create a zip line. So you're going to create an Easter egg zip line. So the materials you're going to need is half an Easter egg or some Legos. If you don't have Easter eggs at your house, what you could use is Legos instead to build a zip line. But if you're using the Easter egg, you're going to take just the bottom half of it, okay? And then you're going to take any recycled materials, egg carton, paper, cardboard, newspaper, any boxes or anything that you have to make your zip line. And then you can use tape or glue to get it all put together, and scissors. And then you're going to need a string to act as a string, yarn, ribbon to act as that rope, or that pulley kind of system, rope for that zip line. So one person's going to hold on one end of the zip line and put your zip line, like we used a Lego guy for it. We put them in the Easter egg, or we made a Lego zip line and we put them in there. So you want your Lego guy to be on the top with his zip line, Okay, and then you're going to have somebody else on the other end holding the string. And you guys have to play around with laws of motion a little bit and see what kind of force you're going to need. Remember, every object will stay at rest until a force moves it. So it's going to stay on that string if the string is straight, right? Because nothing is moving it. So you either have to push it or move the string somehow. You could even do an extension of the activity, and you could make 2 zip lines, and one with like a heavier zip line and one with a lighter one, and then you can compare and have Isaac's law of motion number 2. 2 objects of different weights accelerate at different speeds. You can see which one is faster, kind of have a race for that. So I want you to play around with your zip line, see what works best. Does it work best when it's straight? Does it work best when it's up and down? What way does that string need to be? Have fun. Just use what you got around the house. Don't go out and buy stuff for this. Just use what you have to make that zip line. So here's some STEAM tips for you. You're going to pause the video after I'm done with this, and then you're going to design, make, and test your project first. So I'd rather, because the way that STEAM works is I want you to be using your problem-solving skills and trying to make this on your own, okay, with no help. I want to see what you can come up with, because there's so many possibilities of how this could turn out. And then, like I said, test those laws of motion that we're talking about. And if you're having trouble, I want you to try a couple different ways of looking at it. And then if you're still having trouble and you're getting frustrated, you can unpause my video and continue watching, and you'll see some pictures and ideas of what we've done, okay? There's so many possibilities, so many ways to do this. Just have fun with it. Try your best and have fun. All right, guys, pause the video. Bye.